Hello and welcome to the Tales from a Haunted Farm podcast. My name is Liz Reeder and I am doing my best to be an author while living on a haunted farm. Today's story is one that could be listed as an adventure in farming. My farm is not what most people call a farm. I have 2 horses, 2 dogs, 3 ducks, some chickens, and my herd of barn cats, plus the cats who live inside my house most of the time. My animals are all pets, and what we grow in the garden is for our personal use. If we have good luck and more produce than we can use, we share with whoever needs it. My chickens bring a lot of character to my farm. Some people prefer to keep only one breed of chicken in their flock. I am the opposite. I like to have a rainbow of colors and as many different types as I can. Mystery chicks in a box? I'm game. Let's see what they turn into. Someday, if I keep collecting chickens, I might sell some eggs. But that's doubtful. One of my chickens is the reason for this story. Let's just say when a hen misses her curfew, something bad is bound to happen. So sit back and enjoy this tale from a haunted farm. I keep chickens for eggs and have on and off most of my life. The chickens are turned out every morning to roam the farm, and every night they are securely closed in their chicken house. This is the usual process, and it has been since I started keeping chickens. At least it was until one night when a hen decided to stay out past curfew and got locked out of the chicken house without being noticed. With my chicken house, there is one corner that you cannot see into when you shut up the chickens for the night. When I did the head count, I didn't see her. I thought she was on the roost in that corner. That was where she would usually sleep, so I wasn't overly concerned. About 30 minutes later, I was ready to pick up my son when I heard the most blood-curdling screeching I have ever heard in my life. To make things worse, it was coming from near the door. I had to go out. I cautiously stepped out and shined a light toward the noise. I saw the hen inside the frame of the antique bicycle that leans against my house. Behind and underneath her, between the bike and my house, was a small, completely terrified possum. The poor little thing was frozen in place, and the chicken was not happy about it. I was able to find a stick and use it to gently poke the possum until it backed out from where it was and wander off into the yard. I then went to work with the hen and quickly found out why she was so angry. Although she was uninjured, she was trapped in the bicycle frame. I thought it would be a simple process to get her leg out of the bike, but she had no intention of making it easy for me. Anytime I would get near her, she would bite. I do not mean peck. I mean bite. She would grab a beakful of flesh, pinch, and twist. If you haven't figured out from that description, it hurts to be bitten by a chicken. I tried unsuccessfully to calm the hen down, so I had to leave her long enough to get a couple of towels to cover her. And when I came back, the look she gave me was one of pure death. She was going to try to kill me. And I knew it. I now fully understand why the possum was so scared when he was under her. He was only trying to eat some cat food on the porch, and instead he stumbles across a murderous chicken. Thanks to some leather work gloves and covering the hen with towels, I was finally able to get to work freeing her without being bitten further. She had somehow managed to put her foot through a small opening in the bike's crankset. It took me a few minutes to work her foot and leg out of the opening to ensure that she was not injured further. I could only see a few minor cuts and scrapes on her skin. I was worried the entire time that she had broken her leg somewhere, and I wouldn't know until I got her loose. Note that while I was freeing the chicken, the traumatized possum was aimlessly wandering around the yard. He was still completely confused and dazed about what was going on and what he should do. Thankfully, by the time the chicken was free, he had made his way to the edge of the yard and wanted nothing to do with either of us. The entire event took about 15 minutes to unfold. I finally got the chicken free, and when I sat her on the grass, she fell over when she tried to stand. Amazingly, after a couple more minutes, she could stand and was able to limp her way to the chicken house. I put her inside before finally being able to leave and pick up my son. The next day, when I turned the chickens out, the hen was limping but otherwise okay. I watched the cuts and scratches to make sure they healed, and within a couple of days, she was perfectly fine. You couldn't tell that anything had happened. The possum was a different story. The poor little guy seemed to have been so upset by his run-in with the chicken that he stayed away for a while. I saw him eating cat food a few weeks later. He also made a full recovery. And the antique bicycle? It is still leaning against my house in the same spot it was. After all that, I can't move it now, can I? I hope you enjoyed today's story. While my website is down, please join me on Instagram at Tales from a Haunted Farm or on my author Instagram at ReaderLiz. I would love to hear your feedback and answer questions if you have them. If you would like to check out my books, they are all available on Amazon. Until next time, I'm Liz Reader, and this was your tale from a haunted farm.